This is Bryan of By George. Today I had to trade in the sweatshirt for a button-up. Why? Because I had to honor my man Otis. Last game in Eagle Bank Arena. I'm going to spend a couple minutes just talking positive about him. Why? Because Mason got blown out by 40. So what am I going to talk about? You want stats of that blowout, or would you prefer me talk about my experience with Otis? I met him at a kind of a pre-season, meet and greet early on at the Rathskeller 4 years ago. Well, almost before his freshman season. And I went up to him and, I was asking him, just about being in Fairfax, playing D1 basketball. And I just saw his eyes light up. They didn't light up as if it was too big for him, as if Eagle Bank Arena sat too many fans for him, or as if he wasn't good enough. His eyes lit up because you could tell this is something that he wanted to do his entire life. And he sat in that presser tonight and thanked George Mason, thanked all of you, thanked me, thanked Ron, basically, just for coming out, for showing support, for being there for him. And you can see the gratitude that kid has. So then you continue on through the years, and he never one time turned down an interview with Giant Killer or By George once, not after a loss, not after a win. And he was just always there. And yeah, at times he gave us that normal, just kind of player speak, didn't really open up too much. But you could tell this year, got a little more candid with us, gave us some more of his personality, and really kind of, showed some emotion that he was going to be leaving Fairfax soon. And of course, Otis will always be in the record books. He'll always come back to Fairfax. But the heart, the emotion, the conviction, and the love that he showed us here, the Patriots, Mason Nation, we have to be thankful for that. And, is this how we wanted him to go out, on an ankle injury at half court? No, obviously not. That's how nobody wanted this to go. But fortunately, you don't get to write your own history. And so, this is what Otis had to say about, his experience here at George Mason. And hopefully it touches you the way it touches Ron.
I would say just every game is the best memory. It's just truly a blessing to be here, wasn't really recruited, coming out of high school. Had a couple schools offered me scholarships, but to be here is just been a dream come true for me. I wanted to play Division I basketball since I was little because my dad played, so I wanted to play college. It was never really about professionals, it was just I want to play Division I, and when they gave me that chance to, I just wanted to make the most out of it, and I really felt blessed, by God to be here and to be surrounded by these coaches that love me and great teammates and, the fans. Whenever I can just play in front of them, it just means so much to me. Just them cheering for us, no matter what, whether we're getting blown out or whether we're blowing the team out. They're there and they just show me so much love. They show us so much love, and just every game that I can just lace my shoes up and play in front of this crowd and hear the band play. I love the way they play the music. It just means so much because I know my life could easily be something else. One decision here, one thing here and there, and this might not ever happen. So it's just a blessing to be here and play for these coaches and play with my teammates. They're the best, and I wouldn't want to play anywhere else.
So, silver lining, I'm going to find it. Everyone's expect By George to be on Twitter hating, burn it all down, fire Paulson, all this nonsense. At this point, we're just not there. We've now committed to the Paulson rebuild. Things that we've been questioning for quite some time, like defenses, recruiting, things like that. What are we going to do now? We're going to keep repeating ourselves, or we're going to buy into the obvious rebuild that we're going through? And yeah, there's going to be some growing pains. And yeah, we've had a chance to finish top 4 last few years and haven't done it. But you got to look at guys like Javon Green, guys like Greg Calix, who DP said, played awesome. Hashtag start the guy. And then, Jordan Miller, diamond in the rough. Where'd he come from? Everyone knows he was redshirting. Everyone's seen him play. Another double-double tonight. Silver lining, hashtag Jordan Miller, Miller time. This is what Coach had to say when I asked about him.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan, I thought Jordan was, played well. I thought Jordan and Greg Calix were, truthfully the only two guys who really played well, and unfortunately Greg couldn't play very many minutes. And he's a guy, like, he didn't, this is a game where he didn't shoot it great, but he's active, and he's always around the glass. And what I liked was, especially in the first 14, 15 minutes, and the entire first half when it was a competitive game, I thought he defended as well as he's defended. So that doesn't necessarily show up in the stats, like the rebounds and the points, but I thought he really defended and competed at a level, truthfully, that was a step forward as well. So, he's continuing to improve, and obviously we want him to continue to make those strides here in the last regular season game and into the conference tournament.
Last question back there.
I asked DP another question. This was the game where everyone wanted me to ask questions. Everyone wanted me, how do you beat a program like VCU? How was your practice? All these questions, we get a bunch of tweets. Today I just didn't really feel comfortable doing so. They all know they got their ass kicked. I'm not, what am I gonna do? Sit up there and try to solve the problems? The problems are injuries. We don't have the depth. Our offense is vanilla. Our defense gets beat. We turn the ball over at half. But something that's been really troubling for me is that both in the Duquesne game and at this game, we found ourselves in a rock fight and just kind of gave it away in the last 2 minutes of the first half. And DP mentioned that, he thought we lost that game in that end of that first half against Duquesne. And so I'm going to leave you with what DP had to say. Quite honestly, I don't got anything left. And so we're going to let DP close out this episode of our Recap Live.
We certainly hope we could fix. I mean, obviously the second half, this was very different than, we got to take care of the ball, and it's not necessarily the same guys in each game. We have been, hopefully we won't continue to be, but we have been, and we might very well continue to be inconsistent shooting the ball. So that's going to happen. But we can't turn it over. Like, we at least got to have a shot at the basket. We got to have a longer possession where we can get back defensively. So that was the big thing. I think we had 2 consecutive turnovers that led to runouts and let them go on a 5-day run. And we did a poor job on the glass. Now, in both games, in terms of defensive rebounding, again, we got to own what we have, and we got to play the guys that we have. But we're really banged up, and especially in the front line. And so, that in terms of keeping people off the glass, that really, really has had an impact.